I made bookmarks. Hey, welcome back to Already Overbooked. My name's Josh. And yeah, what a week. It's been raining non-stop for like 2 weeks now here. And yeah, it's been zero fun. Haven't been able to do too much. Good news is I did read a lot. So we're going to have a lot to talk about when I get to that section. Some cool things happened on my side of the house. I did go through and make some bookmarks, which is cool. I made right here. Look at that. I can start using my own little fancy bookmarks. That's pretty cool. And then also created a magnetic one as well, so I could toss it into a book. You know, go in here and toss this in here. Magnet shut. It's in right there. And it's all cleaned up. It looks good on the shelf, so it doesn't really mess up, doesn't push out the paper. So pretty cool. Pretty cool, easy activity I went through and did. Something new, something different. What else is going on? My youngest son had his birthday this past Sunday. Super excited. It was a lot of fun. We went bowling. Bunch of people showed up, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. The kids had a lot of fun bowling. It was good seeing everybody, and yeah, it's always fun. But time's flying by. Definitely cherish those moments in there. It goes by so fast. So what else is going on? I think that's about it. So let's just jump into why you're really here. Books I went through and read this past week. I ended up going through and reading 2 books and 3 novellas. So let's just jump into the first book. The first one is Tomb of the Black Pharaoh by Christopher Michael. This is a gripping fusion of World War II espionage and a Lovecraftian horror. You go through and follow a scholar, Robert Danforth. The story goes through and plunges you into a race against Nazi occultists to recover an ancient talisman buried in Egypt. The atmosphere has a lot of dread. It blends historical intrigue. There is cult conspiracies, cosmic terror. It's fast paced, eerie, and very, very well written. It's a lot of fun, super entertaining. Highly recommend checking out Tomb of the Black Pharaoh. The next book I ended up going through and reading was Obsidian Murders. Now, this was a fun palate cleanser about Tessa O'Hare, who is a human journalist who can see mythical creatures. And with these talents, she works with a vampire and a ghost to go through and solve a murder. That's pretty much right to the point. It was a lot of fun. Like I mentioned, a good palate cleanser. Definitely go through and check out Obsidian Murders. The first novella I went through and read was What Comes Before. Now, this one reminded me of The Knowing, with starring Mark Wahlberg meets A Cabin in the Woods. It was eerie, it was intense, and it really revolved around 2 strangers who catch themselves in a crazy situation where things are trying to go through and take them out. So, very intense, very eerie, but a lot of fun and a fantastic read. Definitely, if you are looking for a creepy story to read at night, a lot of fun. The next one was SkyFold. Now, SkyFold throws you straight into a wild mix of chaos. We have Riven and Cabot. They are such a great duo. You get like the perfect mix of heart, tension, and oh no moments that you didn't see coming. The world building is amazing, and the finale is so well done. It is totally worth going through and checking out Skyfold. This one is a short novella, so I don't want to go through and talk too much about it. Just trust me, you're going to want to go through and check out Skyfold. The last novella I ended up going through and reading was The Christmas Demon. Now, this one was brutal. It was eerie, haunting. It had so many layers within this very short story. It was so well done, and it's very hard to go through and talk too much about this story without spoiling anything. So, this one, the cover is killer, and the story is even better than this fantastic cover. Go through and check out The Christmas Demon. It was amazing. All right, so let's jump into what am I currently reading. I am currently reading one story. It is The Land of the Ill Imagined. This story is so much fun. It is original. It's different. It's about a guy who wakes up in the ill imagined, a world of characters that don't actually exist, and they all know it. So they're created when an author or a person goes through and starts imagining characters in their head before they go through and put them on paper or showing them to other people. They are created and transported to this world. And so it's very interesting and intriguing following these characters who know that they don't exist but have memories like they do exist. So there's a few characters who have a lot of memories of their wife and kids or sister and their mother, and they're going through and having these memories knowing that these people don't really exist, but I have all these memories and thoughts and feelings of these individuals. It's a very intriguing type of story. I am about halfway through it, so I'm very interested in seeing where the story is going to go from here. The next two books I plan on reading this week is Spectre and Scream in Blue. One of them is a novel, the other one is a novella, so excited to go through and get to those as well. So jumping into my book haul, I ended up going through and getting one physical book and three ebooks. So let's jump into the physical book. I ended up getting Midwestern Gothic by Scott Thomas. This was a gift from the publisher, and I really do go through and appreciate it. It's a collection of 4 Gothic novellas by the author Scott Thomas. So there's the 4 stories. We have In the Door in the Field, which is a construction worker's birthday becomes a far worse night when drinks at an off-the-books bar sends him down an unforeseeable, bloody path. The second one is Wear Your Secrets Like a Stone. A big box clerk discovers that her book pick for Halloween's displays echoes a dark secret hidden beneath the facade of her hometown. The third one is The Boy in the Woods. Something evil has infected the counselors at a summer camp, and a young boy will have to do everything he can do to survive the night. The last one is One Half of a Child's Face. A woman spying on her daughter and ex-husband notices an odd painting hanging in an empty apartment, one that seems to call to the building's children. So this sounds awesome. This has very cool premises, cool ideas. Super excited to go through and jump into some Scott Thomas Midwestern Gothic. The ebooks that I've received, the first one was The Sacred Valley Betrayal. This one's about Trevor's life takes a nightmarish turn when he wakes up haunted by visions of Sacred Valley. His existence unravels when the police come knocking, accusing him of his wife Caroline's apparent suicide. Desperate, he flees with his lover Kathy and his loyal best friend Jay, racing down a dark, winding pathway. As they push the boundaries of their escape, a mist envelops the road, leading the crash on a town's outskirts. So sounds very cool, very horrific. The cover looks crazy, so super excited to jump to Sacred Valley Betrayal. The second one was The Many Shades of Midnight. This is a terrifying enemy is spreading a plague across the land, a sickness that kills or transforms everyone it touches. Unable to contain the outbreak, the king recalls from exile his former friend and military commander, Elias, a man who has spent years fighting syndicate expansions and whose resentment over his exile makes an unpredictable, dangerous ally in the powerful struggle between the ruler and the mining companies. Attached to an embassy sent to recall a list apprentice, Surgeon Brevier finds his skills and loyalty tested as he services to his new patron, uncovering secrets about the plague that links to the mining and threatening the life of the man it is his duty to safeguard. In their own separate ways, Elias and Briver must take on the might of the syndicates and confront the greed, murder, betrayal, and impossible choices of a crisis that has been decades in the making, and the prince and the price of their failures could be everyone and everything. So this sounds crazy good. Super excited to go through and check this one out. The last one was Antihero, book number 11 by Greg Hurwitz. Once a Black Ops assassin for the government known as Orphan X, Evan Smoke broke with his program and went deep underground using his operational rules and skills to help the truly desperate and nowhere else to turn. When Luke Devine, one of the most powerful men in the world, has a psychological crisis, Evan flies to the East Coast to meet Luke. While there, he learns of a young woman who was kidnapped off the coast of New York City subway, clearly in danger and in need of aid. With no name and no clues, Evan and his team track down the missing woman who was assaulted and abandoned. Evan offers his help and sets out tracking down the young men responsible, but the woman insists that Evan abandon his usual methods, no vengeance, and in particular, no killing, which will prove no easy feat given the mounting incoming threats from all sides. In a mission that takes Evan from coast to coast, from the poorest corners of society to the richest, Orphan X must figure out a way to protect the innocents, avenge the victimized, and balance justice with a measure of mercy. I love this book series. It is so much fun, and I cannot wait to jump in. I will definitely be reading this one before the drop date in February. So let's go through and talk about what is happening this upcoming week. So on Monday, I'll be going through and dropping a book recommendations for Supernatural TV show fans. I love this show, and I've spoken with multiple people on and off BookTube who also really enjoyed this show. So I went through and dove into this series going, what are the top reasons people like this show? And I will give you a recommendation or two based on what you enjoy most about the Supernatural TV show. You are not going to want to miss this one. It is a lot of amazing stories. On Thursday, I'll be interviewing the great Alexander Robb, author of There Will Be Many. It's going to be a fantastic conversation. We're going to have a lot to talk about because I really, really loved this book. And then on Friday, we're going to be doing another weekly recap. All right, so let's jump into Indie Author Spotlight. And for this week, I want to go through and spotlight Ken Pryor, author of The Monsters Among Us. This story looks so awesome, sounds really intriguing, so I wanted to go through and spotlight Kent and his work. So let's jump into what this story is about. Seth's life until now has been a product of a diabolical, evil Truman Show. His entire upbringing, a facade orchestrated for dark purposes. After his beloved dies, he undergoes a metamorphosis, which causes the world's fictitious walls to start crumbling. As he tries to piece a semblance of his life back together and move on, he meets friends who inspire, but even more harsh truths are revealed, perhaps too difficult even to cope with. The very existence of life and reality is exposed as machination of grotesque gods, and to defeat them, Seth will have to fill his emptiness, for which there's only two options: bring the world to ruin, or learn to transmute his pain into strength. This sounds very cool. The cover looks intense, and it comes out in September 9th. So go through and show some love to The Monsters Among Men by the great Ken Pryor. All right, let's jump into BookTuber Spotlight. I want to go through and spotlight Nana from Books Talks with Nansen. Nana is such a nice person. She has amazing reviews and books she goes through and does. What I really like about Nana is not only her presence is very calming, but she does a lot of her videos outside, so you get to feel like you're in nature, and it feels like you're going through and talking with a friend. Nana is such a great person. Go through and check out her channel. I have links down to the description below. Go check out her channel. She is fantastic. So that's it. That's all we got for this week. Let me know what you're reading, watching, or grabbing in your hauls this week. I'm really always intrigued to hear what you are going through and reading this week. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Till I see you in the next one.